Let's dive into our first topic of the second hour and tomorrow's preseason finale for the Cleveland Browns. Dillon Gabriel is going to start, and Taylon Green's going to play. It does not appear that Shedeur Sanders is going to play in this third and final preseason game. Todd Monken was asked about that decision on why he will not play Shedeur Sanders, and this is what Coach had to say. Quote, "We're not playing them because we like to see Dillon more. It worked out last game. That was unfair to him. So in order to do that, to see more of him and to see Taylon, there's just not enough reps. That's the reason. There's really nothing else. Just trying to see Taylon after he played pretty well in the limited reps he had against the Bills. And we want to see more of Dillon. It just hasn't worked out trying to get those other guys reps. That's the reason." Question for you guys.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders is quarterback 2 entering week 1 against Jacksonville. Todd Monken says he still wants to see Shedeur improve more in some of the operational side of things. If he's your quarterback 2 and you still want to see improvement for Shedeur, why would you not play Shedeur Sanders in this preseason finale where you could get live game
Maybe
reps?
he's not quarterback 2.
I think he is.
Maybe they're going to move on from him. That's the only thing that doesn't make any sense, but it's the only thing that makes sense. Why would you not, if Shedeur Sanders is your backup quarterback, which I assume he is,
Yeah.
and if your starting quarterback stinks and is, one of, if not the most injury-prone quarterback in the league, and you think there's a reasonable chance Shedeur Sanders might have to play, why wouldn't you, if he has things to improve, which you just said he has things he needs to improve, why would you not play him over guys who are less likely to play? I don't understand that.
I agree. I'm surprised. Like, I would at least give him 2 series.
Right.
Because
you can still see plenty of Dillon Gabriel and Taylon Green.
If one of the problems with Shedeur
Yeah.
is getting the plays out, getting guys lined up,
Yeah.
working on cadence, all those things, what better opportunity to do that than in a preseason environment? I don't think that there is a great reason. I hear what I read into that is they're deciding between Dillon and Taylon for QB3, and the other guys going to the practice squad because I don't think they're carrying 4.
Right, but why can't you just decide that in practice? And again, you could play them both in this game.
You could play them both in this game. Yes.
I
agree. I think Shedeur should probably get 2 series at the start.
Todd Monken said, and I'll take him at his word, even though I don't believe anything he says. In this case, I'll choose to believe him. That Deshaun Watson gives him the best chance to win.
Yeah.
So if he cares about winning, and if Shedeur is the backup quarterback, having him play more would give him a better chance to succeed in theory.
Unless you're concerned about injury to Shedeur, knowing how fragile Deshaun is, and you don't want to run the risk of Shedeur getting hurt. And then if Deshaun goes down in week 1, now you're at QB3. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yes, but you could always trade for a veteran if you were in that kind of situation if you had to. Albert Breer was on with Jonathan and Nick, and by the way, I made my first appearance on the Fan.
I meant to talk to you about that. I saw that.
We had super chats yesterday.
Yeah,
asking if we fired. you
people thought you got fired. And you
really?
Go back to 92.3.
Well, I was not hosting; I was a guest. Why would that doesn't make any sense? But
it's super chats.
It was fun to be on. It was fun to be with those guys. It was my first time in studio since I left.
Did it feel weird being back?
It was weird, but it was cool, because obviously Keith was there, but all the behind-the-scenes people are all these young guys, nice guys. I met all these guys, and I felt really old. I felt really old, but it was a lot of fun. But they had Albert Breer on yesterday, and he basically said the Browns should get rid of both the quarterbacks and just go get Jameis Winston.
I mean, I've been saying that
stabilize.
I've been saying that since January.
Yeah, but I at this point, I don't think they're going to do anything like that. But I don't understand this at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Can I throw you a theory?
Yeah.
On this, I'm not sure I believe this, but I want to throw it out there because I think it's worth discussing. I'm with you. I think Shedeur should absolutely play tonight in some capacity. Tomorrow. Sorry, doesn't have to be a long time, 2-3 drives. But if he's going to be quarterback 2 and he's 1 hit away, he's a young quarterback, a developmental quarterback. Right. Get him the developmental reps. This is the preseason. This is exactly when you can actually get those live game reps that you can't necessarily replicate apples to apples in practice. But I saw this floating around yesterday, and I wanted to ask you guys, do you think there's any plausibility or any chance that this has some real legs, that Todd Monken does not want to play Shedeur in the preseason finale on the off chance Shedeur looks awesome against New England.
No.
And it just sparks more conversation in the lead up to the regular season.
That's fan nonsense.
That the quarterback decision was the wrong one.
If they cared about that, they wouldn't have done what they did in the first place.
Yeah.
So that doesn't.
That's just fan nonsense.
So I said I was just asking.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Because I don't see, and once again, I don't necessarily believe that either, but I also don't understand not playing him at all in this game. To me, it makes no sense.
The only thing that makes sense is if he was not going to be the quarterback too, which I mean, I'm saying like maybe they move on from him.
Yeah.
Do you think that's possible?
I mean, anything's in the realm of possibility with this team, but
Yeah.
I did wonder that at one point.
Yeah.
I didn't ever want to bring it up because.
Yeah.
But I think he's here.
I just think it's worth bringing up because of this.
Yeah.
If he was playing in this game, I wouldn't even have thought to bring it up, but I just don't understand. I think that makes more sense than they're afraid he's going to play well in a preseason game. I mean, he played pretty well in the last preseason game, and it didn't matter.
Right.
I know.
Todd Monken
That's what I'm saying.
care.
I didn't necessarily believe that. I just wanted to ask if you thought there could be any credibility to that.
In the second preseason game, Shedeur played pretty well, and Deshaun Watson
was awful.
Could not have played worse. So, and he
still was
didn't
named
play
the
a
starter.
role.
He still was named the starter.
Yeah. So why would it matter if he played well again in this game?
I just don't
Against
get
backups
why.
and third stringers.
I just don't understand. Game reps are so important. Tyvis has harped on this.
Yeah.
That the game reps for young guys, especially in the preseason, like no matter how hard you practice, no matter what they set up in practice, even in joint practices, there's something different about the actual game reps. And if you have a young quarterback, which Shedeur is, a developmental quarterback, which Shedeur is, getting those game reps, which he's not going to be able to get in the regular season, against Jacksonville, barring an injury, against Tampa, barring an injury, why you wouldn't take full advantage of getting him, even if it's just in a little bit. And I believe that you do want to see Dylan and Talon. Get them their reps second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, even halfway through the first quarter. But I do not understand, and I do not agree with Todd Monken's decision to not play Shedeur at all when these could be valuable game reps for him to continue his development into either becoming the Browns' next quarterback or just in his overall path as a quarterback in the NFL. I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense to me. By the way, I was doing last night a fantasy draft auction. It's a keeper league.
Mm-hmm.
It's very deep teams. And usually every starting quarterback gets drafted without exception, even the worst.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson did not get drafted. He was the only one.
Was Shedeur drafted?
Shedeur had been drafted in the rookie draft last year.
Oh, so he's kept.
So you get to keep 5 rookies, and it's a lot. So even guys who haven't done much get kept at least for a second year.
Yeah.
But he would not have been drafted if he wasn't. But Deshaun Watson, like there were guys that took backup veteran quarterbacks rather than take Deshaun, which is crazy.
Funny.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Like you talk about somebody took Geno Smith. Like everybody. But anyway. All right, Mike, what are we talking about next?